like to call the meeting of the trustees work session to order. We start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the
republic
which it
which
stands,
stands
one
one
nation,
nation,
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty,
liberty, justice for all.
Okay, would the secretary please call the roll?
President Schultz,
Present.
Secretary Treasurer Horowitz,
Here.
Trustee Warner. Trustee Warner,
Yeah.
Trustee Pell,
Present.
Trustee Welker.
Here.
We have a quorum present this afternoon, Mr. President.
Okay, very good. Okay, first item on the agenda is the waterfowl hunting location permit applications for determination. So our able staff member, Jessica, is going to walk us through those. She handles all those applications.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay.
So the first one that we have, and I'm going to try and make this as brief as possible, is Andrew Duran, no permit number. He was proposing a brand new permit, like a new location in Seatuck Cove for a floating duck blind. I sent it over to the Bay Constables, and I'll just hold up where exactly on the map he wanted to put it. He was proposing it for here in Seatuck Cove. So I sent it over to Rich and Al, as I normally do, and they denied it. And I'll read you guys the denial email and the reasoning that they gave. It says, I was able to conduct a site visit at this location today, and it's our recommendation that this new application be denied, also for the following. Blind faces other shoreline in Brookhaven town, and the distances to other properties, floating docks, homes, etc., are anywhere from 580 feet to approximately 800 feet. The attached distances submitted shows distances to residences, but in fact should be to property lines. The creek is too tight to allow a blind in this area. Although the trustee board has the final say, need anything else, let me know. So I agree with the decision over to you guys. So you would like to advance the denial of this permit?
Yeah, I know the creek very well. It's too narrow.
Well, I mean, with the new shotgun shells and the new material that they use as far as getting away from lead, this material carries a lot further than lead used to. So I recommend that we would not entertain this application.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll advance the denial of this permit then.
Yes.
Great. Moving on. James Conkle, permit 272. This is an approved individual from the wait list. He has been on the wait list for quite some time. I offered him, I think there was 8 spots that were made available from the past season. He had first pick, and he chose permit number 272, which is on the Peconic River. And let me just see. Yeah, he's been on the wait list since 2012, so it's been quite some time that he's been waiting for a spot.
Okay.
And this used to be Jeremy Clint's spot. It was revoked. So I sent it to Rich, and he says everything looks good. He, will take them off the wait list. What do you guys think?
Looks good.
Well, I think it looks good. He went through the whole process, so
Yep.
he deserves a spot.
He did. It's been 8 years and counting.
Okay. All right.
All right, so we'll advance that one as well.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to Jesse Fritz. This was similar to the first one. This was a proposed brand new hunting location. He's trying to get this man, actually Jesse Fritz, he actually already has a spot, but he was hoping to obtain another spot, a second spot. He submitted, GPS coordinates and maps and everything that we needed for Hubbard's Creek Pond. I'll show you the map. However, once I sent it over to the Bay Constables, they did end up denying this new location. I'll show you where it is first, and then I'll read to you the Bay Constable's reasoning.
Jess,
So
can you put it up so I can see it? Because I can't
you see
see it.
that?
No,
You can't see that?
no.
Oh, that's strange. I see it.
Can everyone
Oh.
else see this?
Yes, I can see it.
Oh,
That red
okay.
dot right there in Hubbard's Creek?
Okay,
Mhm.
yes, I'm familiar with
That's
the area.
where he was proposing
Okay,
to place this blind. So you can see that, Ed, right?
yes,
Okay. The reason for the denial, this is the email that I received from Rich Frank. I conducted a site visit along with waterfowl location maps. Our recommendation is that this permit is denied due to the fact that there are 6 registered blinds in this creek along with 4 other county blinds in the same
Mhm.
area.
Right,
And that's
right,
it.
right.
So very
yes.
short
That's
and
part
to
of
the
that
point.
Hubbard Creek Park. They had, the county has their own blinds up there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very congested up there.
okay. So
I agree with
we are
them.
going to also advance the denial of this permit.
Please.
Yes.
Yes.
Next one is going to be in Trustee Warner's area. This is going to be a transfer from James Frankenbach to Sean Barilski. Sean Barilski is currently not registered on another blind. He is, however, on the waterfowl wait list pending removal upon the approval of this application. So this is west of Atterbury Road in Shinnecock Bay. And I sent it over to the Bay Constables and they said everything looks good as long as the trustees approve.
Yes, there's been blinds along there for a long time, and it's a good spot to hunt. So
Okay,
I think it's
Okay.
good to go.
Yep,
Great, advancing
sounds
that
good.
one. And last but not least, we have in Trustee Pell's area, Stephen Schuster and Michael Tessitore are currently co-permittees on this blind, permit number 232. Stephen Schuster would like to transfer this completely to Mike Tessitore. He wants to be off the blind and he wants the blind to be solely in Mike Tessitore's name. Michael Tessitore is registered on one other blind, permit number 9, and he's not on the waterfowl wait list. I sent this over to Rich Franks and he says, everything looks good. Since it's a transfer, it should be good to go. All persons are allowed 2 locations max, and need anything else, let me know.
Okay.
Billy, is this the blind that we had problems with?
Yes,
Why? Okay.
It's by the bridge.
Is it
By
off
the
the
bri-
meadow now?
yeah, they took it completely apart and it's not, they're using a floating blind there now.
Oh, good. So we
About-
shouldn't have the problem like we had the
Good.
No.
past. Very good. Okay, then
Good.
I'm in favor of it then.
Okay,
So we're gonna advance this?
yep, I have no
Yeah.
problem.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, I will get working on all of these resolutions for not this upcoming Monday, but the meeting after that.
November 2nd.
Okay, for the November 2nd meeting.
Thanks, Jess.
Okay, thanks for you.
Thanks,
Thank
Jessica.
you, guys. Thanks,
job,
everybody.
Excellent, Jess. Good job.
Yep.
Thank you,
Thank
Jessica.
Have a great night, guys.
You too.
You
Thanks
too.
again.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Okay, general permit applications for determination. First one is mine, Fisher Organization LLC. I'm going to remove this today for discussion.
I'm gonna
Okay.
hold that,
This-
President Schultz.
Yes, hold it. There's some pending litigation going on down there, so we're going to hold this until that's resolved. Okay. And then the next one is William and Maureen Parsley Family Trust on 6 Crestview Drive, Remsenburg, Spionk. It's a low-profile kayak dock on the Spionk River. It's through, it's one of those low ones, Ed. The Phragmites is growing up through the through flow. It's working okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, they cut it down, you know, in the springtime, so they don't get spikes coming up through the through flow. But essentially, what it is two 4x4 additions to the end of the existing dock so they can get the kayaks down into the water easier. All they have right now is a stair. They have two boards that stick out underneath the dock, and it's the kayaks sit on that, and they want to pull them up, pull them down, put them on that 4x4 platform so they can get them down into the water. It's all muck and
Yeah, I know.
alternative flora down there. So it sounds like a logical solution to the problem.
Yeah, and it's no interference with any wetlands or anything, so it's pretty
No,
much.
it's right at the edge. There's no,
Yep.
it doesn't go up through the grass or anything. So, I'd like
Okay,
to advance this one. It's a pretty, it's made out of 4x4 with the through flow also.
okay, sounds good.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, so we're advancing.
We're gonna advance that. William and Maureen Parsley Family Trust.
No, I'm not speaking to you. Sorry.
So the next one, okay, he's got it up already, is the Alana Farkas 2011 Irrevocable Trust, 41 Club Lane, Remsenburg, Spiok. It's to reconstruct a bulkhead and replace it and bring the height up to the adjoining bulkheads on each side. It's about an 11-inch raise. You have any pictures of, can you bring the pictures up of the actual bulkhead that's there right now?
Yeah, hang on.
It's kind of a bulkhead with a deck behind it and another little retaining wall, and everything's falling down. All the silt is going into the,
Yeah,
into the
just give me,
lagoon there.
just give me a minute. I got
Yeah,
it.
no problem.
I'll pull it up.
High tide mark, you can see the marks on the bulkhead. The high tide is coming right up to the top whaler, a normal high tide. It's old TCA.
So it's put in the 80s, right?
Yeah, probably around that time. It's just, you've been around a while when you come back to the same site 20 years later. And oh yeah, I've been here. I approved that bulkhead in the first place. It used to be creosote,
Yeah,
like Club Lane Canal,
yep.
Okay, yeah, you see Club Lane comes down to the very end, and then it makes a left on, a right on Club Court. The last property is a little off the main Club Lane Canal. There's a small little canal that comes in off of Club Lane Canal.
And you want photos, right?
Yeah, you can see what the
All right, let me pull
how
it
high
up.
the tide goes up.
Yep.
Little difficult to see. I mean, if you were
I could zoom
I
in.
zoom in on the,
Each one.
yeah, right. They can almost see, you can see on this bottom one that you have up there, the discoloration comes up all the way up to the whaler right there. So they want to
Yeah.
raise this up 11 inches across the back there, which would be consistent with the bulkhead to the one side. The other one looks like it's going to be in bad shape pretty soon too. And that'll probably have to be raised also.
And they're proposing,
Excuse me.
they're proposing to keep the deck that's there,
Mhm.
and then what behind it?
What do you mean? Same as what they have there. They want to raise it up, put a new bulkhead and raise it up.
Right, but the decking behind it, the walkway, what goes behind that? What are they
Want to bring
proposing?
that up?
Yeah, hold on.
I think I saw that it was native vegetated buffer.
Yeah.
It was on the plans.
It was on the plans.
Mhm.
Yeah, propose native vegetative buffer.
Okay,
6 feet behind the 4-foot wood walkway.
okay. Just because there's grass there now.
Eric, are they gonna do any reclamation dredging in front of the bulkhead in the?
No, you don't need it.
Okay,
No, I don't think you need it.
okay.
Wait a second, let's go back to that vegetated buffer. Grass is a walkway behind the bulkhead.
But they
Behind.
put, hold on, let me pull it up
4-foot
here.
wide walkway.
Hang on.
And then
Bear with-
behind that, there's grass.
Right, behind the, walkway they're proposing, vegetative buffer.
Okay, that's fine.
I can pull it up, just give me a second.
That's what they're requesting. Right?
Yes,
That's totally compliant with Blue Book.
Mm-hmm.
see right here, the proposed native vegetative buffer, 6 feet behind the 4-foot walk, this whole area here.
Great.
Okay,
Thanks, James.
Welcome.
Are we advancing that, Eric?
okay, we'll advance this one if nobody has any problems with it.
No problem.
No, it's good.
Scott's next with Bay Road.
I'm next. I got 37 Bay Road, Village of Quogue, land use. Applicants proposing to construct a fixed catwalk 68 by 4 to support launching of paddle craft for recreational paddling and to support access and equipment transport via paddle craft to a nearby Southampton Trustees approved mooring in Shinnecock Bay. The proposed catwalk to be open grade decking elevated no more than 26 inches above mean high water. We've all received letters. I received some phone calls and had some conversations with the adjoining property owners. And I think that this requires substantial,
Perhaps a
diligence
public,
on our board. It may even need a public hearing, would probably be recommended.
prudent.
There's also references to covenants, non-disturbance covenants, and I really think that Sean Cambridge should look at these covenants and just make sure that there are no conflicts with this project. I respectfully would request this absolutely be on hold and consideration of a public hearing so that we could do the best job we can on this application.
Okay, so you want to
That's
set a
great.
public hearing? What's the available dates? Lisa?
Okay,
Well,
I have to go through the publication dates if everyone just gives me a moment. Okay, so the notice of public hearing would go on for the meeting of the 19th. It would be published in the newspaper on the 29th of October. And it could be held, the earliest would be November 2nd.
okay, I have no objection to that timeframe.
Ron, is that okay with you?
How are you fixed for public hearings that day on that meeting?
We already have 5 for that
Oh,
day.
wow,
Oh,
wow.
no.
No,
That's
Take it
too
to the
many.
next meeting then.
yes.
Okay, so we could put the notice of public hearing on for Monday, November 2nd. It would get published in the newspaper on November 12th. And then it would be held on November 23rd,
Okay,
the
as long as
actual
we-
public hearing.
that's
Okay,
fine
well,
with
if
me.
that doesn't have any conflicts with the, amount of public hearings that are on there, it's good for that day.
Sean, did you receive a copy of this correspondence that the board received today?
And I did review the letter. I don't have the actual covenants though.
I think you should, if, you've been, obviously, we don't have to discuss them now. I just think that, as part of our process, I think it would be good if you do take a look at those covenants just to make sure. And then we
Yeah, of
can
course.
continue on our path here.
Mhm.
I think that's prudent.
Yeah, maybe we can sit down on Monday or Tuesday. And take a look at all.
Absolutely. I think we need to make sure everything is in order here with this much attention. I think it's very important.
Okay,
All right, so it's certainly going on hold, obviously.
Okay, thank you, Scott.
Right.
Well,
okay. very good. All right, the next one is Ram Island 3 LLC, 45 Ram Island Drive, Tuckahoe. Mr. Pell is recusing himself from this discussion because he works on the property or knows the owner.
I'm sorry, who's recusing themselves?
I am.
Bill Pell.
Okay, so he's gonna step off of Zoom to do that? Sean, would he need to leave the Zoom call?
He can stop his video and mute.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit of a technical problem. I don't think we've
mean, the
done that yet.
recusal
We don't
is-
want to start messing things up.
Stop your video and mute.
He just
Yeah,
has
just
to
put on.
stop his video and hit mute.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it's a public hearing. It doesn't hurt for him to watch. It hurts for him to input. So
Right.
Okay, so how should I characterize this, Sean? Just say trustee Pell stepped away from the meeting?
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's when we come up with some new verbiage. This is treading on new ground here. Okay, so this is to reconstruct in place approximately 173 feet of existing bulkhead, increase the top elevation. I can't really see it because screens and so the people in the way. Why don't you read it, James?
All right.
Increase the top elevation.
Increase top elevation of east and west portions of the bulkhead by 18 inches to match central portion. Use untreated wood only. Establish 10-foot wide non-fertilization buff landward of bulkhead. Plant buffer with beach grass 12-inch on center.
Okay, so bring up the plans. I'm
Is
familiar with the
anybody
site.
here? Is anybody here from First Coastal?
No, we don't, are we? Yeah, nobody?
People here,
Yeah,
and it's up to you whether I bring them in.
From First Coastal?
No, it's First Coastal here. Billy Mack.
Aram.
Aram's here?
I don't know. I'm asking.
Okay, well, as you can see,
No, just enter science.
okay. Okay, we'll start with this plan first. As you can see, the only portion of this large portion of property that's bulkhead is just in this immediate area. So he's.
That was the old seaplane launch, right?
Right. So there's a house deck, there's a deck in the middle that's higher than the bulkheads on each side. And they want to raise those where you see the hash marks there where the buffer is planted, where that indicates where the buffer is. And then they want to raise that up to meet that height of that deck. So I believe we have some pictures of the site.
There's no one here from that, there's no applicant agent that's trying to get in on this one?
Doesn't appear to be.
Is Billy Mack here or Aram? Charles see him?
No, he said,
Yes.
no, he said, no.
No Billy Mack?
Nope.
No. Pretty self-explanatory. But anyway, you see on the bottom left-hand picture there, that's the lower portion of the bulkhead. Piles extend higher. They want to raise that up to meet the above left picture. You can see where the water, where the discoloration of the bulkhead is, where high tide is. So it's enough in that area. And then you can see the high tide mark come along.
So
You don't necessarily have to raise the whole thing. You could let it rise up on an angle. You see on the bottom left-hand side, discoloration of the
Yeah.
high water mark.
Yes.
It goes down to below the bottom whaler as it goes up the beach. So you you could raise the front up and then have it come back. Doesn't have to raise up that high. I don't have a problem either way.
What would be the advantage of sloping it like that?
No real advantage, I don't see.
No real advantage.
It's just it's better to stay consistent with just the 18 inches. I think these people have done a really good job of being stewards of that island by not doing any more bulkheading than is necessary. It's just to protect those structures down there where that old launching ramp was and that house.
And that's the portion that's filled in, right? That you can see in the lower left-hand corner? That was the old launch?
No. The old launch was on the southeast corner of it.
Yeah, it was on the other side.
There's a big dock there, and they used to tie the seaplane right up to the dock,
Yeah.
and there's a wooden pad there for them to take the seaplane out of.
We had some other pictures, don't we, James? Or is this it?
That's it. I can
Oh,
bring
okay.
up the plans.
Okay.
I mean, other than the bridge that goes across there, this is the only bulkhead on this whole island, so
Right.
pretty much
that's what- yeah, that's what I was
as
saying, yeah.
natural state as you can get.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it regularly floods even on a moon tide there, Eric. It's not like you have a northeaster. You get a northeaster for a couple of days and half the island's on the water. So it would be, it would retain some of the runoff that goes back from the land from behind the bulkhead too.
Well, you can see on the plan, if you look at the top left there, you'll see the landward limit of the tidal wetlands. So you can see how far they go into the property.
Mm-hmm.
Top. And then as you go down on the to the right, they come pretty far into the property there too.
Yep.
So I don't have a problem with advancing this. I think it's okay. And seeing that they're going to put beach grass in, that's good.
And they're going to remove all the old CCA treated lumber, right? So we're going to
Yes.
get that out of the environment too.
Yes, moving
The
kind of.
pilings and everything. So it's a win-win situation for us.
Yep. Yep. I think it's a good
Okay.
plan. Everybody
There's
okay?
I'm good.
There's really healthy marsh all around that island.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm good.
Okay, well, let's advance that then. Bill can come back into the meeting.
I'm back.
You're back? Okay. Ann's next then.
Michael, are you
Billy
here?
Mack is here now, if you want to.
Oh,
Oh,
Do-
yeah, he's here. You want to speak to him?
Moving on.
We went through the whole project.
It's already done.
Well, if he's
Yeah.
listening, it's advanced, Bill.
so this is Michael. Are you here from InterScience, Charles? This is James Carney, 35 Dune Road in Bridgehampton. It's a dune walkway. Michael, if you want to chime in on this, happy to have you back me up. The project is to remove the existing dune walkway and construct a new walkway that extends over the dune to the actual toe of the dune. It'll be light penetrating and untreated wood. And there will be a jog towards the end and a set of stairs on the way down.
Yes, that's all correct. The existing walkway is essentially covered by sand in a lot of areas. And the proposed walkway in the dune area will be in essentially the same place, so there's probably not going to be that much disturbance. And then we are extending the, I think that's the existing plan. And yes, and then so we're extending the walkway and it goes out to the toe of the dune now. Right now, the walkway just extends from the crest, probably about like 15 feet down to, I guess, where a toe used to be before all of the dune nourishment happened a few years ago. So now it's coming out to where the toe actually is. And we're still proposing the 90-degree jog. That's something that the trustees still want to see, right?
What is the distance between the seaward end of that proposed project and the high tide mark? Is it a considerable amount of beach driving area?
It's
Yes.
116 feet.
Okay, all right, just making sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why we usually ask a 90-degree turn like that, so it won't interfere with any beach driving, stuff.
And Michael, how high above grade is this walkway?
We're trying to stay at 2 feet in all areas. So in some places it goes a little bit above just because of the way that it has to, at least on the landward side. On the seaward side, we're really hugging 2 feet all the way down. So, yeah.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, looks pretty good.
Yep.
Okay, I'd like this to be advanced then, please.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
Okay. So, does anyone have anything else to discuss today before we go into executive session?
Yes.
Just a update on the Cold Spring dredging. It's going to start the 19th. The county's going to start setting up their dredge and pipe on the 19th. So just giving a heads up, like Bill said, we'll notify the Bay Constables, and maybe we should put it on our website for in case anybody in the area wants to know what's going on and for navigation. Okay?
Okay, great.
I'll,
You have any idea about Middle Pond or anything? Did they indicate to you when they were going to start that?
No, that's going to be in the dead of winter.
Okay.
They're going to
checked
get the.
I checked
Go,
the
James.
tides and the weather. I'll be doing the red knot survey tomorrow.
Okay.
High tide's right in the middle of the day, so
Okay.
it
Good.
works out. And the weather's not going to be good for Friday or Saturday, so
Yeah.
I'll have to do it tomorrow.
Yeah. It's going to be a substantial dredging project because a lot of material has filled the inside part of the channel and almost about 800 or 900 feet inside of the channel. So you're probably looking at upwards of 10 to maybe 15,000 cubic yards of material being moved out of there.
What's after Cold Spring, Ed?
I believe will be North Sea Harbor.
When do you think they'll get to North Sea Harbor?
I can't really, it should take them about a little over a week here, so probably around the 1st of November.
Right.
That's a guesstimation, weather depending, if they, get some calm weather, they can get a lot of work done. But if with a northeaster or northwester, they really can't do a lot of dredging at Cold Springs, especially on the outside. So they'll probably hit that first with nice weather and then work their way to the inside. I have not been notified which side the material is going to go on yet. It was still pending as of yesterday. So James, when you have the correspondence with Peter, could you please ask him to update where the material will be placed on this project?
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Just Sagaponic Cut. I wasn't there today, but it was open and washing over when I was there yesterday. And there looks like there's been really good tidal exchange there. The pond has filled back up a bit. So I don't know, I didn't check salinity levels in there to see how it's improved, but it looks much better. Mecox, we're waiting on weather conditions. We have the permits for it. We're just waiting for the conditions to be right weather-wise. So hoping soon.
Thank you.
Scott and I, we've been gathering information on a pump out barge, what holds roughly 8,000 gallons. We would like to know if the board wants us to continue to do it, because we most likely have to go out to bid for it. So we can start that, the bid process on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the issue that we have with boats coming from the western part of the town, having to meet up with the boat Shinnecock and then make its way all the way to the county basin to the north. It's been a source of logistical problems and a source of complaints to the village of West Hampton Beach. I've been in contact with Trustee Ralph Urban on this issue. They seem to be interested in collaborating with us on something like this. I'm sure, as Bill and I have been discussing and Bill's looked into, there's perhaps some opportunities for grant monies. And it may be a solution to, getting something that has fairly decent capacity to, offload our boats into and for other boats to pump directly into, to eliminate that problem of the logistics and the problem we ran into with the comptroller, where we were getting charged large sums of money for pumping small amounts of effluent at inopportune times. So this may check a bunch of boxes, and it may be cost effective. And, Bill's, and myself have been working together on this. And if the board wants us to continue, it sounds like the Village of West Hampton Beach will collaborate with us, and it could be something really good. So,
Do they have a spot to park the barge at their?
well, we just
marina?
started the conversation about trying to make a determination on where. Obviously we have a spot where we keep our pump out boat there. Maybe there's an area that we could work out where barge goes, and maybe our boat can go, someplace else. We don't know. We're at the beginning of the discussion phase, but Bill and I wanted to make sure that the board wanted us to continue on in this endeavor before we, spun everybody's wheels all over the place here. So if you want us to continue working on it, Bill and I will do that.
Is it going to be like the pump out facilities at the county basin?
Yes.
Where mariners can do their own pump outs?
Go ahead, Bill.
Yes, Ed. You can pump it. You can pump it. Boat owner can pump themselves out. It'll be most likely be solar driven, so it won't burn any electricity. So it could be at a mooring, and 75% of it will be paid by grants. So it might only end up costing us, $10,000 to $15,000 for the piece of equipment.
And when he says us, there may be other funds available from other, entities that would come up with that. And again, if the village, it's going to solve a big problem for the people, down in that area. So having them on board, pardon the pun, to collaborate with us on a project like this, I think it's win-win all the way around.
Yeah.
And it's certainly a win-win for the environment, because with so much pressure and need for the pump out vessel, especially in a highly impaired waterway, the western part of our township, the last thing you want is people, pumping overboard. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great project for us all to work on together.
Well, I mean, I think it's a wonderful idea. It's just the accessibility for mariners. If they can get to the barge themselves and so it will take some of the stress off the pump out boat program that we have up there. That's what I'm trying to,
Well,
get to.
if they would do some of that on their own, that would be wonderful.
Yes.
But if it also simply solved the logistical problem and made it so we could more efficiently, offload, our
Right.
smaller pump out boat,
Yep.
and then be more cost effective on getting the companies to, get rid
Yep.
of the effluent.
Yep.
I think it's a win-win. So there's tremendous positive upside. And I think whenever you have, a group like the trustees collaborating with the village, I think that's a great thing.
This is a perfect opportunity for us to partner with the village and go to the CPF 20,
right.
fund and ask them for the remaining balance, because we're doing our end as far as, getting the effluent out of the environment and preserving and protecting an impaired water body. I think it's a no-brainer for them to approve this. So I think moving forward, we should work on a bigger plan, on a presentation to the committee, so that we can get that paid for.
That's exactly what we were planning,
Yep,
and
right.
in my conversations with Trustee Urban. Trustee Urban and I, as I've advised this board, we've been back and forth together over various issues that have arisen relative to the pump out program, because as I said, there's been such pressure. The village has been fielding a lot of complaints and, requests, because, when our boat has to leave that area and head east to offload, those folks are looking for the boat and then they can't get it. So they're calling the village, then he's calling me. So it's great that the village will collaborate with us, especially if we're going to make an approach to the town board on, and the committee for the CPF 20. I just think it's win-win. Bill and I have been, we've been working on this, and out of respect for the board and just making sure we're all on the same page. Like Bill said, we want to make sure everybody, is on board so that we can continue, moving in this direction. So all great suggestions, great collaboration.
Yeah.
Do you-
It'll work. It'll work.
I think it'll work.
Right.
So I'm in favor for pushing ahead. So you got my vote.
Yeah, definitely. And
And
this,
you-
go ahead.
Do you
I just
have
want to see
any,
it, man.
do you have any idea of the time frame on it? I know you're just starting to work on it, but would it be possible for next season? Even
That's
if
what we're
it's a-
trying to do. We're trying to get moving ahead and solve this problem for next season. That's why Bill and I have, been kind of aggressively, talking to everybody and trying to get everyone on board. And that's why Bill, brought it up today, just so that you know where we're at. And this way, if anybody has any input, suggestions, we want to be successful with this thing. It's not a gigantic amount of money. It's not a tremendous heavy lift. So like as Bill had pointed out, if we could get the 75 coming from a grant for us to come up with that differential, when I say us, I think there are other funds within the town that perhaps, would qualify. It's really a small amount of money, and I think it'll save a lot of, issues. Time is money, and, it's a great thing.
One other thing, guys, is it an aluminum barge that will have years of use?
Yes,
Bill?
it's all aluminum.
Yes. So
Yes, it's
you're
made
gonna
out of
get-
aluminum.
It's the
You'll
same
get
vendor
decades
that
of use.
makes the boats.
We'll get decades of use out of it then. This is
Right.
this is a
Yeah.
really good, this is a really good thought.
And then you
Well,
factor
this
in that
is
it's
what
going to be.
Ed's father and Bill Bennett proposed in the first place. A barge
I
out
know.
in the middle of the bay that people could pull up to, and that was started
Yes.
this whole program in the first place.
And we're
Yep.
incorporating
Back 20,
solar into
30
it.
years ago.
Absolutely. And, we're incorporating solar into it for its, for its operation.
Yeah.
And I think it's a worthy project. I think it could solve a bunch of problems, and we work together, we'll get it done.
Yep.
Well, speaking with Janice Shearer, who's intimately involved with that, with the CPF Water Quality Committee and everything, and I discussed with the rest of the board about different projects that we wanted to accomplish in the next year. Proposed that we come up with an omnibus package to present to the committee in January when they start considering the new applications. So we have everything packaged together in one place. So, like we discussed before, come up with your ideas of what projects you want to do.
Right. I mean, we gotta, like I said, we gonna have, I think, a pretty full plate with dealing, getting Baycrest finished, back and forth on the Bay Avenue East Quag. Obviously, the board's working on the dock down by Trump is South Bay Avenue Eastport, and then the Road H in Hampton Bays. We
Yeah, we got a lot of
really,
projects.
we
Yeah.
got a lot going on here before you
A
get to
lot of
anything else.
infrastructure.
We got a lot of infrastructure that has needed to be fixed, that is finally going to stop being a public safety hazard and then turn into an asset for people to enjoy recreation on the water, which is a great
Yep.
thing.
Precisely.
I called John McDonald yesterday, waiting for a return call back from him, because he is a vendor. So I'm trying to figure out, I want to ask him if we have to go out to bid or we could just buy it, because since he's a vendor. I'm not quite sure.
All right. Well, John will certainly give us what the proper
that's
procurement
what we're
procedure
waiting for.
is. And then you did send me, I think, a bunch of paperwork from the state or whatever that's got to
Yes.
be dealt with. So we'd have to deal with that end of it.
That's pretty easy.
Yes, and then I got to set up a meeting, discussion with Trustee Urban, and then make sure we all get on the same page, and then move forward.
Okay,
Great. Thank you for working on that, both of
Thank you,
you.
Bill. Thank you, Scott.
yeah,
Thank
thanks, guys. Okay, so we're ready to close the meeting, go into executive session. Everybody okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, make a motion that we close the meeting and we go into executive session to discuss ongoing litigation.
We
Okay.
have, we're going,
Favor? What?
well, just to point out, we're going into, or to clarify, we're going into a Zoom executive session first and then a bridge call. Right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
The second part of the executive session will be staffing levels.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna
Okay.
go with Stephen
sorry.
Stern now?
Yeah, 4 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay.
So did
Very-
everybody
Okay,
get the, what? Go ahead.
May I have the second on the motion to close and turn to
Second.
executive section?
Yeah. All in
Okay, it
favor?
was Ed.
Aye.
I couldn't hear you. Okay.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.